Welcome to the Sports Betting Podcast from pregame.com. This is the Thanksgiving edition. This is segment 4 of 6. This is Marco D'Angelo along with Vegas Runner. We're going to preview segment 4. It is NFL action, Houston and Indianapolis. Vegas Runner, give us the line.
Okay, Indy opened as a 3.5-point road favorite with a total of 49. As of today, you have your options. If you want to lay 3 with Indy, you got to lay 130, or you could lay that opening number of 3.5 and get even money. So it's dipped down to the dog, little money on the dog, and the total's gone from 49 to 48, which isn't surprising after the first meeting finished 20-17.
Okay, before we get into breaking this game down, this will be my free pick for this week.
All right.
We've both been rolling along on the free picks.
Nailing them. Someone please let me, not to be cocky, I don't know when I lost one. I know I've won 8 straight or 9 straight. It's been a long time, so let us know. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm only 10-3 for the season. I gotta, be in the shadow of the big guy. But before we get to that, we got to give away RJ's money. He's not here right now. Some CEO stuff. I love giving away his money. It's Thanksgiving. Let's do it. $10 coupon. You go to the shopping cart. Anything you want to buy at pregamepros.com. And we've got some hot guys. I got to talk about one guy, Dwayne Bryant. I'm going to tell you 2 numbers. Either one of these numbers by themselves is enough of a reason for you to jump on this guy. But combine them together, it's a no-brainer. Dwayne Bryant is 7-0 with his games of the year in 2009. That's all sports games of the year. That in itself. He's hit 14 straight plays in football. Tomorrow, in the NFL, Turkey Day game of the year from Dwayne Bryant. If you enjoyed his college game of the year last Saturday with BYU, check out Dwayne Bryant, and you can use this coupon and save $10. Turkey 10.
I knew you were going to pick that. I
knew it. I'm thinking about the turkey already.
What words are you going to use? What coupon code?
Turkey 10. You get $10 off anything. Got to bring your own gravy though. We just give you the coupon. Turkey 10, and as RJ likes to say, what if the package is only $10? If it's $10, you know what? It's free, RJ. Okay, so we're having too much fun without the boss here. Let's get into this game. I'll let you break it down first, and then I'll
know your free pick. You give me the play first.
Give you the. You know what?
Tell me what. First.
I tell you, I looked at this game 2 different ways.
Go ahead.
And I can actually take the side or the total.
You like both, huh?
I like both, but you know what? I'm going to go with this game. I'm going to go with the over because part of my thing here is the first meeting in this game. It was a 20-17 game. Misleading score.
Big time.
Indianapolis came out of the chute. First 3 of the first 4 possessions, they were up 13-0.
I had them. You don't have to remind me. I know.
Okay, we know. There was a situation. They could have blew this game open early. They settled for 2 field goals. If that game goes to 17-0 or 21-0,
oh, it flies over.
It flies over the total because now Houston's got to be playing in come from behind mode. So I think both teams are going to score. Indianapolis had a big game the last 2 weeks. They had 2 weeks ago against New England. Excuse me, sorry, New England. The game where they got the gift, the 4th and 4th and 2, they went for it, all that stuff, and made the miracle comeback. Then they went on the road last week, which was my free pick. I said they'd get the money against Baltimore. They did. It was ugly, but they got the money. Here's a team, the last 4 weeks, they're undefeated this season. Their last 4 wins have been by a total of 10 points. This week, I see them breaking out of their offensive, sluggishness of last week in the first meeting against Houston. I see both teams going up and down the field. I see them trading points.
Okay, both teams. For a second there, I thought you were leaning favored and over, and that's not you.
No. Okay, both teams are going to go up and down the field.
Okay.
I think this is one, and this is why I was kind of leaning to Houston as well. But my official pick's going to be over the total of 48. Last team with the ball, I say is going to win the game this week.
I'll tell you what, history supports what you're saying, and now that it's off that I mean, it isn't the key total, but 49 is one of them, at 38, 41, 43, 49. And now that it's at 48, you're getting extra value. More importantly, until that last game that ended 20-17, we saw 8 straight overs. So both these teams always came in knowing they're going to play some offense, and that's how it usually went down. So I tend to agree with you there. I like that free pick. When I look at this game, Marco, I went back and I looked at what happened in the first game because I did have Indianapolis. And what I saw was the Texans missed the field goal, which was key, number one. They only ended up losing by 3. But more importantly, if you're going to beat Indianapolis, like they were saying, that was to get over the hump. Obviously now Houston's lost 2 straight, so they're not talking about them as getting over the hump. But before the Indianapolis game, that was the talk. Can they finally get past that? You're not going to do it with 13 penalties and 130, 140 yards of penalties against Indianapolis. You almost have to play perfect ball, especially on the road, and they weren't able to do that, while Indianapolis, on the flip side, only got called for 4 penalties. So, I mean, everything that Houston could possibly do not to win that game, they did. Missing field goals, getting penalties, falling behind on the road. I mean, everything they could possibly do wrong, they did, and they still hung around. So that tells me, they do create some problems for Indianapolis. Looking at the history ATS, they've covered against this team. Although it's been one-sided with Indy beating them, they haven't done so convincingly.
Last 3 in the series have been decided by 6 or less.
Exactly, and it follows that trend, I think, and I kind of lean that way with, again, I think you're right on both ends as far as leaning to the Houston side and leaning to the over side. I'll tell you right now, I don't think you could go 0-2 betting them. I mean, if you walk up to the window and you bet Houston for 500, over for 500, I don't think you're going 0-2.
The other thing, I don't know if you remember last year's game in Houston. This was the game that Indianapolis scored 14 points in the final 3 minutes. Remember, all Houston had to do was run the clock out.
Yeah.
And they had that fumble. And
all them that, points at the end.
Yeah, so, I mean, Houston has played this team, and this is a huge game for Houston. Houston has wild card, they're still alive. There are 6 teams in the AFC log-jammed at 6-4 or 5-5.
So anything could happen.
Anything could happen. But if they're one of the 5-5 teams, if they lose here and go to 5-6, with so many
teams
over.
In
front of them, because they're definitely, no matter what happens this week, they're going to lose ground to one of 2 teams. Pittsburgh's at 6-4. Baltimore's at 5-5. One of those is going to be. One of those is going to win. Is either going to be 7-4 or 6-5, and they lose ground. They're behind 2 teams for sure. They need a win, and they need a win bad. The Monday night game, they were coming off of the bye week, which you've heard me say, I don't like teams coming off a bye week when they have momentum. And to me, Houston had momentum going into the bye week. Even though they lost at Indy, they had won 3 in a row, and that was like a moral victory going into Indianapolis and only losing by 3.
Game of it. You're looking at the 2 worst running offenses in football, the 30th and 31st ranked. My question is, I know we don't have time. Do you think that's going to change? Are any of these teams going to try to run, or do they know, let's just go in there and throw the damn ball around?
What's going to dictate it?
I mean, you got the number 1 passing team and the number 3 passing team.
If one team jumps out 10 points, that takes the running game
out of it. Throw it out. Take that rushing playbook and toss it.
Hey, great segment. My official pick, take the over. This has been segment 4 of 6. We'll be back with segment 5 when we preview Sunday Night Football, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. We'll have the CEO back in the big chair, RJ Bell, in the next segment.
I'll let him out of the closet.
All right.